Hey y'all, my name's John Mattis, and I'm gonna do the walkthrough with modifications for Resistance 3 of 22-minute hardcore. So just like Resistance 1, there's the warm-up, which is really easy in the beginning, which is those the walk in place, the TH squat, the Gasku stretch, and the jumping jacks. So you do that, it's like really quick, it's like a minute or two. And then you go into the 5 movements. So I ain't gonna lie, Resistance 3 is pretty tough, and it's really gonna challenge you if you're going all out. So the 5 moves are the pump jumper, the split lunge thrust, the arm balanced row, the mountain squat, and the scissor clapper. So the first move is the pump jumper, and it's basically like a plyo push-up, so it's really tough. So if you're not strong on push-ups, this is going to be tough, so I'm going to show you the modifications and you really got to watch them. So first I'm going to go through the regular movements. So because it's a plyo movement, I really can't use the power stance like I normally would. So when you're doing the pump jumper, the first movement, you want to have your elbows closer, and then you fire up, and then you go wider. And then so what you do, so remember I told you, so you want your arms, you don't want your elbows flaring out on this movement. And so when you're going down in a more narrow push-up, you actually have your legs out like this. And then when you go wider on the push-up, you actually have your legs straight. And so you're gonna fire in to the 2 movements as you're doing them. So you're gonna go down in the narrow, fire out into the wide. And so it's really gonna tax your muscles. And this sort of sucks that this is the first move, and it starts with 25. So I'm just gonna demonstrate it as best I can. I'm still a little raw on this. I'm fairly good at push-ups, but this is still even a tough move. So when I'm down, I go down. Sorry, I didn't do that exactly correct, so let me do that again. So when I'm wider, I go down, and then when I fire up, and then so you can see that when I'm narrow, my legs are out farther, so just remember opposite. So when you're wider, you want your feet closer. So the modifications for this is definitely just do half plank, and then go down like this. And trust me, that's even gonna be pretty hard because you are doing 25 at first. The other thing is to do the half plank and then work up to full plank. That's the other one. So I really don't recommend doing the walk in place on that. So I really want you to start working on your core when you're doing the pump jumper. So that's the first. So, so the next move is the split lunge thrust. So this move is another plyo move. So you're going to use hand weights, or you're going to use the sandbag. So I'm just going to show with the sandbag that says no weight in it. So this will be an easy demonstration for me. And so essentially, let me just move this forward a little. So what you want to do with the split lunge thrust is that you're actually jumping up and switching your leg and then coming down. And then so it's gonna, so you're gonna be like this. And then so as you can see, I'm gonna jump up, and then I'm going to come down. So see, it's a plyo move. One thing you want to practice is try to land softly and land on the balls of your feet. You don't want to get into your heels. You're just asking to fall over if you do that. So you want to practice being on your balls of your feet. And then so as you can see, and then it also helps me fire up and land softly as I land. So as you can see, and then so I could do that. Of course, the modification on this, don't do the jump. And then what you do is you go. And you may start just doing this with no sandbag at all and then work up to a heavier weight and do it. And then you work into doing the jump. So that's the squat lunge, the split leg lunge thrust, sorry about that. Okay, so the third move in resistance 3 is gonna be the arm balance row. So on this one, another tough movement. You're either gonna do it on your arms or you're gonna be holding hand weights when you're doing it. So the cadence is on the first move, it's 16, then it's 14, and then it goes to 12. And so I'm gonna show you those. So I have these power blocks. These are pretty good because they give me a nice balance when I'm up. And so I'm gonna show the different movements. And so it's the same theory as holding plank. So you want to be right above your shoulders, and then you have your arms out like this. And so the trick for this movement is that you're gonna basically just hinge your hips and your feet so you could bring the one barbell up. And so you definitely want to start with a smaller weight. So on this, with just the handle, is 10 pounds. There's some weights in the handle. So I'm holding plank. I'm going to hinge over like that. And then see, I do that, and then I come down, and then I'm back in plank. And you may have to readjust yourself. And then, as you can see, I hinge, and I go back like that. So definitely a very tough move. The modification, so I'll turn to you and show you the modification so you can see it at a different angle. You're going to hold the plank again. Like I said, do the right above your shoulders so you don't have strain. And then you hinge like that, come down, and then you hinge as you're doing it. So that's going to be tough for a lot of people. So if you can't even do that, I would just practice, like I said in the others, hold half plank and then work up to full plank and then do the movement. And that's the modification. So the fourth move is the mountain squat. And this move is going to take a lot out of you. I recommend just pausing the video and doing the reps. You start with 14, then it goes up to 18, and then it goes to 20. And so the way the 14 is broken out, it's 7 on each side, and then it's 9 on each side, and then it's 10 on each side. And so that'll be apparent when I show it to you. And then so essentially, if you're on this side, the mountain squat, you essentially just fall back and lay flat. And then so the mountain squat, it's going to be like this. And then I'm like this. And then the trick is you got to get up. And then so what you want to do is the arm that you have holding the weight, when you get up, you want to have that same leg up. And then what you do is you push up. And it may not be pretty, so it's really confusing. So I even recommend, if you're not used to this, just try it without a weight, because even without the weight, it's really tough. And then so the modification, when you go down, okay, looking flat again, what they show you is you get up, you almost do like a, you cross your knees into a sitting position, and then you get up like that, and then see how I brace my foot up. And then so it's a big movement, and so you start doing 7 on each side, so you switch your sides, so you can see how that can be tough. So I wouldn't even try doing it at the speed unless you're in just phenomenal shape. I'm in pretty good shape, and it's still pretty tough for me. So those are the modifications. If you're a little leery or you may get dizzy, I would just lay flat on your back and just do a crunch, or just march in place. It's do what's comfortable for you. So this is the one where you could really get hurt if you're not paying attention. And so with me, because I do have blood clots in my right leg still, I'm still mindful of that. So I'm a little more apprehensive with this move. But that's sort of the couple of variations you could do with the move. So the last move of Resistance 3 is the scissor clapper. And so this is basically an ab exercise. It's basically the scissors with a clap underneath your legs. So I'm going to show it. So it starts at 50. So it's not 100 like the others. So one leg is 1, the other leg is 2. So when you're doing scissor clapper, you have your chest slightly up. You want fist. They always say fist. This is what they mean. And then so what you do is you have your legs up, and then you go like that. And that's the scissor clapper. And then so the first move, that's 50. So that's 25 on each leg. And so the modification on this is just go like this as you work your way up, and put your foot down, or even straight leg, put your foot down and go like that. But really, if you're doing the movement right, you're holding your legs up the whole time, doing the clap. If you still can't do that, it's the same thing with a lot of the other core exercises. Just try to do a crunch, or slightly just lift your legs up and hold your legs up underneath this, for a time period, holding them still slightly off the floor. So those are some of the modifications that you can do. So that's the last move of Resistance 3. They're both pretty challenging if you're not used to it. So it mixes a lot of lifting weights and a lot of core exercises. So just be careful when you're doing the movements, especially like the mountain squat like I showed you. So if you have any questions on Resistance 3, definitely just let me know. So have a great day. Bye.